Gonna try, gonna try, gonna try. Work till I die, till I die, till I die. I'm gonna fail and get up, cause I'm not giving up on my dream.
Hi my lovely Frosty fam, it's me, Karen Frost, here at Nail Decadence. I've got an acrylic video to share with you guys, so I hope you will enjoy it. I'm still struggling with the old laptop situation. I still haven't got my laptop back yet. This is madness, but what can I do? Not a lot. Apparently, because of COVID and everything, it's hard to get parts, but so frustrating. So yes, I'm still poodling along and fighting my husband's laptop to get things done, but I'm getting there slowly, so that's why I'm still not able to upload regularly at this moment in time. Anywho, on with the video. So as you saw, these are all the bits and bobs I'm using. That yellow acrylic powder is one that I mixed myself, and as the notation on screen said, there is a link in the cards to the video, well, one of my videos, on how I mix my acrylic colours myself. And apart from that, I've got a lot of bits and bobs. I mean, looking at the nails, you wouldn't realise there was this much going into it, but yeah, quite a few bits to put into these nails. So I thought it would just be nice, a nice yellowy mellow set. That's all I could think when I saw it. When I saw them, it was like mellow yellow. Yeah, I'm liking that. So that's why I put that in the old thumbnail. Anyway, on with the video. So I'm going to apply my thin clear base. So of course I have already prepared the nails, applied the tips, blended the tips in, and of course now I'm applying the thin clear base. I apply this for a myriad of reasons. It's clear acrylic has the best adhesion properties. It gives you something to file back to. It also protects the natural nail from staining. Clear is also the strongest of acrylic powders, so you get a little bit of extra strength, not a lot because it is only a very thin layer. Yeah, it has loads of benefits to having the clear base, and that is why I do it. Even though it's on Handolly, I don't want to get out of practice of doing it, so I do the same on her that I would on a real person, just so that I don't forget my routine. Anyway, so I'm taking that very pale pastel yellow colour that I mixed and applying that to the free edge area, blending that back towards the cuticle, just fading it out somewhat because that nail's going to be ombre, and on to the middle finger, again applying that buttery yellow colour. It's really, I mean, I'm not much of a green and yellow kind of, or even orange kind of girl, but there are certain shades of certain colours that I really like, and I actually really liked this pale yellow. I did think it was really pretty. Not necessarily summer, but yeah, I suppose it can be summer. I think this is a nice one year round, just to brighten up your day, to be honest, but each to their own. Anyway, so I applied that first bead, brought that down the nail as far as it would go, and then applied another bead by the cuticle area. Again, brought that down, blended it into the first bead, and then I applied just another small bead in that cuticle area to make sure that was nice and neat, and again blended it into the other beads. On the ring finger, yellow again. Obviously you can see that. So I'm going to do a full nail of the yellow on this finger also, as you can see, because now that I've applied that cuticle bead. All of these layers are very thin at this point. This is not a strength powder. I'm using it for colour only purposes. So at this point we're keeping it nice and thin, so that the nails can be encapsulated in clear acrylic, because that's the way I like it. And not only that, of course, if you're capping in clear, you're protecting all of the bits and bobs that you encapsulate in the nails so that they're nice and safe behind that clear and you're not going to file them away. Also gives you the strength you need for longevity of your nail wear, of course. And I just like the clear over the colour. It looks good in my opinion. And if you're building your nail with the clear rather than the colours, then well, your colours are going to last longer. So win-win in my opinion, all the way round. All the way around. Speak properly, Karen. Good lord. Anyway, so now I'm using the cover pink and I'm blending that over the yellow, as you can see. Small beads, they're not huge beads. I want to make sure my ombre is nice and neat on both the index and the little finger. So we'll pay attention to my ombre and get that as neat as I can. And now I'm going to apply some of these. They're like papery. They're the new thing. You've seen me use these before in various different colours. They're these paper bits. They're just awesome. They're so detailed. And because they're really thin, because they're just literally made out of paper, it's really easy to encapsulate them. I did bend them slightly just to get them to sit on the nail properly, but this little leaf was being a little bit stubborn, so I'm just holding it down with just a plastic baggie whilst the acrylic dried, and then it stayed in place. So I'm also going to apply some of the glitter around the butterflies and the flower. Got one flower and sort of one leaf, branch, stem thing. I'm not sure what to call it. I'm not a botanist, so yeah, don't know the technical terms for parts of plants, but anyway. I'm going to also apply some of the mylar. I'm picking up the mylar and the glitter with just tiny beads of clear acrylic, dipping it into the raw products, whether it's the mylar or the glitter, and then applying it to the nails that way. And obviously I will let that set up, and which will hold them in place so that when I go to cap I don't move any of those bits and bobs anywhere off the nail. Onto the ring finger, and I'm just doing a swoosh of the glitters, so the really fine yellow glitter, and I'm also putting some of those, I don't know, you see, I don't know what these are. I think they're shell pieces, but I'm not entirely sure. They're like crushed shell. They're just really subtle, but they're just really nice. So I thought I'd add some of those on, just on top of that glitter. And I think I also added a couple of bits of mylar on as well, if I remember rightly. And on the ombre nails, I'm using that shell shard type crushed shell stuff on, and the swoosh again on this nail. And I think I do the same, yeah, I do the same on the index finger, just a swoosh of the crushed shell pieces. And some of the pieces are clear, so you don't really see them that well. I think if I was to put it over a darker colour, you might see those clearer pieces better, but where it's these are very light colours, you're not really seeing the clear bits show up as much, but possibly you would if I used them over a darker colour. Not sure, I'll have to give it a go. I don't think I've used these over a dark colour yet. Yeah, I will have to experiment with them, I think. But they're just nice and subtle and just, yeah, gives the nail a little bit of interest. So it's not just straight up ombre, although there's nothing wrong with the straight up ombre, don't get me wrong. An ombre is beautiful on its own, but you know me, I can't just leave it alone. I will end up going overboard because I can't help myself. I'm working on it. I am working on it. I am getting better at not doing quite so much on nails, but I'm a work in progress, leave me alone. I'm trying to keep things a little bit more simple, but I do struggle, I'm not going to lie. I do get carried away when I get a set of nails. I just want to do all the things on every nail. It's hard for me to leave a nail plain, really hard. But I am working on it. I've got a few more simple sets coming, so it's a work in progress. I'm a work in progress. So I'm just going to cap all of the nails with the clear acrylic, and this is where I am now going to think about the thickness of the nail. So I want to make sure that everything is encapsulated and protected with the clear, but I'm also want to make sure that my structure of the nail is there. So I want to make sure my apex is in the back third, that I have enough over the tip area so that the tip is strong enough and won't break. I've got enough that I can file without having to file forever and a day. You know, all of those little things that you have to think about when you're encapsulating a nail. So we'll look at the nail from all different angles, and if I see that there are any dips or there are any areas that aren't quite thick enough, then I'll add some more. And I just swiped over the nail with a bit of monomer to help my encapsulating of the clear acrylic over the nail, just to help it smoothly go over. Speak properly. That's not a really good sentence, is it? So I swipe over the nail with a little bit of monomer just to enable that clear bead of acrylic to glide and slide over the nail really nicely, to just help with a nice smooth application. And it also helps to stop the crystallization and white bits that you can sometimes get when you're capping a nail. It happened to me today actually. I was filming a video and it really jarred me. I got some of the crystallization white bits in. I was like, oh, that's so annoying. I hate it when it happens, but you know, it does happen. But if you swipe over with monomer, it's less likely to happen. It may not prevent it entirely, but it can help in lessening that occurrence. It just, sometimes you get a bit of dry powder that hasn't touched monomer, and you will get that sort of white speckled bit, which can be annoying, but as long as it's not too bad, you don't really notice it too much after you've filed and everything. So it's just frustrating when you're doing it. So I know it really got on my nerves today. I was not impressed. It wasn't this set of nails, obviously. I was filming a different video, but anywho, so I'm almost finished capping those, and before I finish I will look at all of the nails together and I'll make sure that they are all similar thickness, and providing they are, I will carry on. If they're not, then I will add acrylic where it is necessary, and then I'll let them harden, and then I'll go on to the filing. So on to the filing for my frosty filing freaks. Here we go. If you are not a frosty filing freak, feel free to skip ahead to that timestamp in the corner of the screen that popped up, and you can skip this part. But here we go. So on this particular day, I did the routine of filing the free edge nice and straight and neat first of all. So what I'm doing is sorting out the underarch and the side walls and free edge all at the same time. So you'll see I start off underneath the underarch, and then I rotate the file up the side and carry on filing as I go, so that I'm contouring that nail whilst tapering it in and getting that nice stiletto shape, nice and straight. Because when you're doing a stiletto, you've got to have it nice and straight. However pointy you make it is up to you. That's personal preference. Some people like them super sharp, needle pointy. Some people would like them slightly rounded off. I mean, it's up to you how sharp you want to make them, but do make sure that you are filing one side then the other side, and that you stop and look and make sure that you're not over filing one side more than you're filing the other. We tend to favour one side more than another, so you will notice that sometimes you'll file one side of the nail more than you file the other side. So it's really important for you to stop and look often, and make sure you look at all of the nails together as well, to make sure that they're all going straight and not, you haven't got one going wonky and the other's going a different way kind of thing. So stop and look, really important. And once I was happy with that shaping, then I will go around the cuticle area, get that nice and flush to the nail. You don't want any steps there, because if there's a step it will be really annoying and your hair and bits and bobs will get stuck underneath it, and then that will cause lifting, which could then potentially cause greeny, and you've just got that domino effect that you just don't want. So seal around that cuticle area really well. Make sure it's flush to the natural nail, so as it's growing out it just looks like the nail's growing out. You don't have this whole step thing that just, yeah, that just sits there and it's just really obvious. Make sure it's flush to the natural nail, so as it grows out it just looks neater as well. And then I will use a tapered barrel carbide bit and just whiz over the surface of the nail. I'm not necessarily debulking, I'm just contouring, because there's not too much filing to do on the surface. I didn't do too badly with my application, so I don't have the e-file up very high at this point, because I'm literally just contouring that, just evening out the surface of the nail really. Not too much to do, and you see I stop and look at the nail from all different angles and make sure that the nail is getting shaped the way I'd like it to be shaped. So you want it to go up from the cuticle area to your apex and then slope down towards the free edge in a nice slope, so that you've got a nice shaped nail. And then I will just use my buffer and buff over the nail, make sure it's nice and smooth, there's no lumps and bumps and no scratches from the e-file. So I'll just give it a good buff with the buffer. You'll see I stop and look and I'll feel it with my thumb. Just make sure it's all nice and contoured with my buffer, and yeah, that's it. That'll be that. And when I'm finished that, I will dust off the nails, of course, and then we can get on with the top coating. So I'm almost finished buffing. I'll make sure it's nice and neat, that all the nail is nice and contoured, and I do that underneath the free edge to make sure that I get off any frills. And now it's time to top it off and keep it tough. Favourite part, but it also means it's the end of the video, so I like to take this opportunity to say thank you ever so much for coming to my channel, spending some of your most precious time with me watching this video. Thank you very much, I appreciate you. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and click that subscribe button. If you've enjoyed this video in any way, shape or form, or it has helped you in any way, please go ahead and click that like button. And if you feel up to it, you're most welcome to leave me a comment. So that is all I've got for this time, peeps. Here is the finished set. I hope you like it, but that's all I got for this time. So you take care now, peeps, and I'll speak to you all again very soon. Bye for now.
You don't wanna bother, yeah. So I took another shot, let my brain do the walking. I don't wanna be your friend, I want something real. Maybe if I stay the night, you could feel the same. And maybe if you treat me right, we could rearrange. But I'm not even gonna try if you don't wanna stay. So how's it gonna be? You got me on my knees. I don't need no roses on my bed. If I could pull you closer to me,